Okay. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. اللهم ربنا آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها وأنت على كل شيء قدير. Brothers and sisters, I greet you all. Welcome once again to our learning session for Nahu and how to get the understanding of Al-Quran directly from the Arabic texts with a little knowledge of Arabic as a language syntactically. And so we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so far, particularly for some of us who have taken this course earlier and have made some progress personally as well as in groups. Our advice is mostly that let's not just learn it and keep it, but learn it and apply it. In applying, it's easy for you to say, from today onwards, when I open the Quran to read, I will focus on, let's say, all the mudaf ilayh, for instance, for a day. So I'll be looking at the idafas, or I would say I'll be looking at all the ismul ishara, if any, in this particular surah. Or for instance, I'll be going for all the huruful jars and the majrur, for instance, and see if, as we mentioned, you will see any harf jar succeeded by a fail, for instance. And then you get that information well in place in your mind, that huruful jars would normally precede an ism, or sometimes another harf actually, but not fail. For instance, another thing is for you to say, well, from today onwards, I know that all the harfs of nasb, like inna, anna, ka'anna, bi anna, lakinna, later, and la'alla, can only precede an ism, or a harf sometimes, yes, but not a fail. And also for you to be able to know that anytime I see a word with a heavy ending, like un or an or in, an, in, un, then I know it's an ism. It cannot be a fail, for instance, or a harf. These markers and these things make it very, very easy for you to start having your own pace of learning Arabic. And so don't let us just be picking the information, but let's practice it, particularly when our point of practice is static, and that is the Quran. Quran will never change. And if we want to learn it, and we are able to learn some of its rules and rulings, like what we have done so far, then definitely it's a plus for us. I mean, anytime I read the Quran, I ponder upon it. The Prophet ﷺ has advised us that we ponder in what we read from the Quran, right? So imagine, in your case now, you are looking at the Nahu aspect, which is good, actually. You don't necessarily have to know the meaning for now. You need to go gradually. But for now, at least I know how jar, kesra are formed on an ism, for instance. I know what can cause an ism to have fatha, for instance. And I know what can make an ism to have dhamma, for instance. Yes, that's what we said, right? That dhamma is the default for every ism. So every ism standing alone is in rafa status. That's what we say. But other things can make it either nasb status or jar status. So you see, you understand now these dynamics, and you're good to go in your studies or in your reflection of the glorious Quran. Anytime you are reading or you are listening, or you are behind an imam, never again, for instance, for you hear the word fi and then the ism after it's having dhamma, for instance. Never again. I mean, even if you don't know which ayah the person is reading, it can just not be. It has to be in jar status, right? However, what we got to know in addition is that even though I know fi can only cause jar in the ism after it, and it has to be an ism, not a fi'l, or a harf sometime, very little times. But if it is a harf note that comes after fi, then it will not going to affect the harf because every harf is non-flexible, sorry, right? Non-flexible. But if it is an ism, then it has to take jar if it is singular. If it is pair, then it has to take aini, and it is plural masculine, it has to be ina. And if it is plural feminine, it has to be atin. And if it is jamu taksir, and that is broken plural, then it will still take in. These bit of pieces of things, if you are able to hold on to them, they help you a lot. Okay, Khalifa. What I'm saying is that from now on, for instance, the rafa nasb jar that we have learned, and I was given an example of fi. If you see a kalima preceded by fi, then I know it's in jar status. So being in a jar status would mean that that particular ism will have certain signs. And those signs would be the signs associated with jar. And jar is not kisra alone. Sign of jar is not kisra alone. I'm very happy when I repeat this on and on and on, because that is where a lot of our mistakes come from. Whenever we hear jar, we think it is kisra. Jar is a status. Kisra is just one of the signs of an ism in jar status. Other signs for jar status are aini, if it is pair, ina, if it is plural masculine, normal plural masculine. And it will be atin if it is plural feminine, also normal meaning it maintains the form of the singular. Salim, that's what we call salim, safe or sound plurals. However, if it is a broken plural, then the sign for the jar is still kisra. So the idea also that I can have an ism in nasb status preceded by a word like inna, innal insana lafi khusr. So insana is in nasb status. Why is the insana in nasb status? We can clearly see because of the inna. And insana has that fatha because it is in a position to show the fatha. But fatha is not the only sign for nasb status isms. Nasb can also be aini if it is pair. It can also be ina if it is plural, masculine, safe or sound or normal, plural. It can also be atin if it is feminine, sound, plural. And so these endings of sounds and combinations, if you perfect them, if you know that, for instance, Dhamma is a sign of Rafa status. Rafa is not Dhamma, but Dhamma is a sign of a Rafa status. And it's not only Dhamma that can indicate a word in Rafa status. Ani is one if it is pair, if the word is pair, like Muhammadani, Baitani, Kitabani, Waladani, Bintani. These are all in Rafa status. What is the sign of Rafa there? Ani, that's what we say. Ani, just the Ani, right? And the A shows that it is pair or two people doing it. Or una, if it is masculine plural, sound masculine plural, Jam'u Muzakkar Salim. So una. Or atun, if it is Jam'u Muannas Salim, a sound feminine plural. So the u, ani, una, atun are all signs of Rafa. Ah, aini, ina, atin are all signs of Nasb. Whilst I, aini, ina, atin are all signs of Jar. So anytime we hear Rafa, Nasb, Jar, clearly these things need to come into consideration about an ism, right? And again, we also learned that the isms can come, two of them having one concept. And those concepts are 5. We call them the fragments in the language. In this case, we have an ism coming together to form one concept, like idafa, mudaf, mudaf ilay. Both of them are isms. The first one has no alif and lam, and the second one is in jar status. Note, the second one is in jar status. Not necessarily saying the second one is having alif and lam, no. Or if having kesra, no. In jar status. That is idafa. So it's one concept. The second concept is mawsuf sifa, where you have the two isms coming together, all of them having all the 5 properties, the status, number, gender, type. If one is rafa, the other one is rafa. If the one is nasb, the other one is nasb. If the one is jar, the other one, if the one is the nasb or jar, the same, right? If the one is singular, the other one is singular. If this plural, the other one is plural. If it's pair, the other one is pair, and so on. If it is also common, both are common. If it is masculine, both are masculine. If it's feminine, both are feminine. That is mawsuf sifa. In fact, mawsuf sifa is the easy to detect among all the fragments, right? And then jar wa majrur, which you know about your harf of jar, batakalawa min fi'an ala hatta ila. If you see them, then the ism after it is in a jar status. The 5th one is ismul ishara and mushar ilay. The 4th one, sorry, ismul ishara and mushar ilay. What are ismul ishara? Demonstrative pronouns, or we call them the pointer words. Hadha, hadihi, haula'i, dhalika, tilka, ulaika. Anytime you see them with an ism in front of them, that ism having alif and lam, then there is a fragment. We call it ismul ishara and mushar ilayhi, a pointer word and the pointed at. This is also another kind of fragment. 2 of them constitute one fragment. When I say 2 of them constitute one fragment, it means they are considered one in terms of doing your i'rab. You just do the i'rab of the first one and the second one follows. That's what it means, right? Like when you see jar or majrur, the jar, harf jar makes causes a job in the majrur, and then both of them are fi mahal, they relate and say muta'alliq bi kada. Both of them muta'alliq bi kada. When you have ism al-ishara and mushar ilay, both of them constitute one concept, and so both of them are one in that case, right? When we say mawsuf sifa, the mawsuf and the sifa are considered one concept, and so on. Idafa, the same thing. Mudaf, mudaf ilayh, the mudaf and mudaf ilayh. So after knowing these 5 concepts, and inna and its ism, for it, the last one I forgot. Inna and its ism, both of them constitute the mubtada. They also are part of the 5 fragments. When you understand these fragments, and you also understand that a chunk of the language actually are formed by these fragments. And so if you are able to detect them, they go a long way to make you get the language, get the ayah quickly. That, okay, this might look like a long ayah, but looking at it nahawically, I can easily see that there are actually 3 fragments in it, and I can put them together, and then I will have an idea of the meaning of what the ayah is saying, right? So after knowing this about the ism, we came to say that, okay, the process of doing analysis for an ism is to look at, for a jumla is to look at the jumla itself and see if it starts with an ism. If it starts with an ism and it's jumla, then it's jumla ismiya. If it's jumla ismiya, separates the words, right? And then start doing the i'rab. And the i'rab is the first ism is mubtada, and whatever gives the information or erases the curiosity raised by mubtada is known as the khabar. So the subject and predicate. That's what we have in jumla ismiya. That's what we spoke about yesterday, and that concluded all about ism. Today we are going to talk about fi'l. And of course, we have touched about ism and harf. Now, of course, we have touched about harf because harf of nasb, then the sisters, inna, anna, ka'anna, bi'anna, lakinna, laytan, la'alla, and then the bata, kala, wa, min, fi, ana, la, hatta, ila. These are all harfs. So we have dealt with, harf generally. Today we are going to talk about fi'l. Now, the easy way to make us understand fi'l is first of all, to know that fi'ls are action words stuck in time. It means every fi'l has a tense, either present, past, or future. And we said the future in Arabic, we don't call it future, we divide it into amr and nahi, command and forbidden. I hope you are taking note of this. Very good. So, fi'l, we're not going to be doing fi'l, sorry. Fi'l is an action word stuck in time, number one. Secondly, no fi'l without a fa'il. There is always a doer inside the fi'l. So, action stuck in time with a doer inside. Two very important things about the fi'l. The last but not the least about the fi'l is that every fi'l has an indication of a pronoun. An indication of a pronoun. So if you're not a master of your pronouns, please, if you have not mastered your pronoun very well, just leave the classroom, sign off, go perform wudu, and do some istighfar. Go and read your pronouns before you join, because it's very important. You cannot make it. It's impossible. It's impossible to go from here if your pronouns are not well seated. And this I promise you. If you decide not to go and do the wudu and do the istighfar, stay with us. By the time you realize you need istinja. So please make it a point that you have studied your pronouns. If you have not, do them and come back in 3 minutes. Jazakallah khair. Stay on. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We'll come back after 3 minutes, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, alhamdulillah, you're welcome back. So today we are looking at Fi'l. And as I said, our Fi'l highly depends of our understanding of our pronouns, massively so. Our pronouns are very, very important. And you remember our pronouns, right? We said the pronouns in our minds are of 3 levels, 2 lines in each level. The first level is the third person level. The second level is the second person level. And the last level is the first person level. So it's third, second, first. On the first level, we have huwa and its line. And then here and its line in the first level. The second level, we have anta and its line. And then the anti and its line. Then the last line, we have the ana and its line. Where we said in the beginning, at the first level, or in all the levels, they are divided into singular pair plural. So singular pair plural, and then third person, second person, first person. Of course, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, down. So we learned it, huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. Okay. Now remember these very well, because these are what the fi'ls depend on. All fi'l has one, you can't see any fi'l that doesn't have one of these pronouns in them. Because we said every fi'l has a fa'il, and the fa'il is inside. And that fa'il can only be a pronoun, and those pronouns are what we have learned, both the independent and attached. ضمائر المنفصلة والمتصلة. So we had ضمير المنفصل هو, the متصل is who, he. هما, huma, hima, hum, him. Here, ha, huma, hima, hum, him. Anta, kum, antuma, kuma, antum, kum, anti, ki, antuma, kuma, antunna, kunna. Ana, I, or ni, and then nahnu, na. I've just given us the independent pronouns and the attached pronouns respectively, from the third person, second person, and the first person. Okay. Now, what we are going to see is that every fi'l that we have need to be run through these pronouns. So if you have a fi'l and you are able to run it through the pronouns, then you are done. Then in your own case, you don't have issues because you are able to know which pronoun is represented inside the fi'l. That is the most important thing. How do I know which pronouns is represented in this fi'l? Okay, very important. And then the last thing I would like to say as a starter is that we are going to look at Maadhi, Mudhari, and Amr. And these are the three, Amr and Nahi. And these are the 4 tenses that we are going to look at. Maadhi, past, Mudhari, present, and then Amr and Nahi are all in future. Command and prohibition or forbidden, respectively. Okay. So, أنواع الفعل والجملة الفعلية. So we are going to look at types of fi'l and jumla fi'liya. Of course, when we say types of fi'l, we are talking about fi'l, and every fi'l is a sentence. This is what we say. كل فعل جملة. لماذا? Why is every fi'l jumla? Because what we need most in every verbal sentence is the action and the doer. And when I say akala, it means he ate. So there's a fi'l and fa'il. So that's why we say the fi'l. Every fi'l is a sentence. So you cannot talk about fi'l without making sure we understand what jumla fi'liya is. Good. Now fi'l maadhi. This is what you have in your handout. Now don't look at these big ones, the whitish area. Just look here. Look this side first, and then the top side secondly. This side represents the adad, and this side represents the halat al the shakhs, what we call the shakhs, the person. And I told you that the pronouns are specially a special ism that does not have only 4 but 5 properties. So the persons are another property of the pronoun. And then you look at the gender in here. The gender is this particular box and that particular box. So the difference between this particular box and that particular box, this particular box is that gender. So both of them are third person, but this is masculine and this is feminine. So, and then we will look at the status, we'll look at the type and the status later, because the type and status is very easy for all the pronouns, right? All pronouns are in Rafa status if they are independent, and all pronouns are proper. That's why we don't talk about the proper and then the status when it comes to the pronoun, because it's a default thing, right? By default, all pronouns are proper. By default, all pronouns are in Rafa status. Of course, if they are independent, like huwa, huma, hum, iya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, and nahnu. So these are the pronouns. These ones, if you don't know them, as I said, sorry for you. However, we will continue nevertheless. Now, we are going to look at these fi'ls. Of course, the pronouns have their meanings here, right? Have their, sorry, these words have their meanings here. So when I say nasara, 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 nasaru, nasarat, nasarata, nasarna, nasarta, nasartuma, nasartum, nasarti, nasartuma, nasartunna, nasarta, and nasarna. You realize that you keep on saying nasar, 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 and nasar. So the noon sa ra is all running through, right? That tells you that that is the root letter, okay? Or those are the root letters rather, okay? This is the root word, na, sa, ra. And the root word always is represented as the huwa level. So you see that at the huwa level, na, sa, ra, na, sa, ra. So nun, sa, ra is the root of the word. So therefore, all other things that you have been seeing here are additions. So what we have to do is to look at the end of nun, sadra. Any other thing that is added there is an addition. And those addition will make you detect what pronoun it is representing. So you see, na, sa, r. So this is the default one, or this is the original one. So it's having the fatha there. So it's huwa. Like the huwa, like the fatha on the huwa, right? Huwa and nasara. Just look at it like that. Nasara, so we say huwa nasara. But huma, you see, it's having okay. Huma, so huma, so the at the end will be represented here. So it's huma nasara. So anytime you see a fi'l with such ending, it means it is Maadhi and it is for two masculine. Of course, we are on the masculine line. Nasara. Okay. So, and then Nasaru is for a lot or group of people, right? So we say Nasaru. Nasaru. So this u is always for whom. So who, whom, and who. So whom is for who, and then huwa is for Nasara, and huma is for Nasara. So you can see here and who, whom, who. Okay. Then Nasarat here. This ta is for here. You remember, you know, this ta. So the difference between this Nasara for huwa and Nasarat is the ta. You remember that Of course, a lot of us know that ta is mostly represented by the feminine, right? Ta, right? So we have that, but in this case, it is in sukun, having sukun. Anytime you see this sukun, ta with the sukun is representing a feminine singular. Okay, third person. So here, nasarat. Huma nasarata. Now look at this nasarata and this nasara. Even though they are both huma, the first huma is for masculine and the second huma is for feminine. The difference between the first, the fi'l of the first pronoun and the second pronoun, even though they are the same pronouns, I mean, they are the same letters, but one is representing feminine pair. The difference here is the ta. So the ta that is here is represented here. That tells you that this is a feminine action. This one was done by two ladies. Ta, so nasara ta, like katabata and akelata. So it's for the two tas, okay? The t and then ta. The last on the feminine level is, or here level is, nasarna. So anytime you see this sukun noon is for feminine plural, third person. Okay? Nasarna. Rna. Rna. Sukun na. So katabna, akalna, zahabna, wada'na. Like it said, wada'na hamlahunna. So anytime you hear this na 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 na, it's like nana. Okay? So the noon is for the ladies, women, a lot of them, right? So nasarna hunna. Nasarta anta. In fact, from this line is very easy, because if you remember the pronouns, you just remove the an. An. So nasarta. Remove the an. In antuma, nasartuma. And remove the an. Nasartum. So like antum, nasartum. Anti, nasar, remove the an, ti. Nasar, ti. Nasar, remove the an, tuma. Nasar, remove the an, tunna. So in the ant line is a very easy one. Just remove the alif, hamza, noon, and then join that particular last letter to the fi'l. Then it will tell you that it is you who help. It is both of you who help. It is all of you, masculine, who help. It is you, girl or lady, who help. It is both of you who helped. Antuma. Tunna, all of you, feminine. So you remember this na, but in this case it is put shadda and then ta. So antunna. Anytime you see this na is about feminine plural. But this is for second person, and then na is for third person. Okay. So you have clues that you can use, a lot of them. Okay. The last line for first person is ana and nahnu. Ana is used for both masculine and feminine, and that's why this place you didn't see the two lines like here, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine. But in this case, it's only one block. That tells you that this is used for both masculine and feminine. So the masculine will say, ana nasartu, I helped. Both male and female can say that. And nahnu nasarna, both male and female can also say nahnu nasarna. And those two can either be, those female and male can either be two of them, pair, or plural if there are many. They still say nasarna. So nahnu ithnain nasarna, wa nahnu akthar min ithnain nasarna. Now, after going through these details, really, what need to be in our minds, brothers and sisters, mainly are the points of the table, these points, singular, pair, plural, third person, second person, and then third person. Masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine. Okay? If you are able to keep this table in mind, all you have to do is to learn how to do the conjugation by bringing in the pronouns that represent. So when I say nasara, you say huwa. Or when I say huwa, you say nasara. So I can give you that fi'l and then you give me the pronoun. Or I give you the pronoun, you give me the fi'l. So I say huwa nasara or nasara, you say huwa. Huma nasara or nasara huma. The moment you hear the nasaruhum, hum, nasaruhum, nasaruhum, who. So anytime you hear this who is about whom. Okay. Nasarat here. Nasarat here. Ita ko. This for the Hausa ones, right? Okay, those who speak the Hausa. Nasarat ita. Nasarata huma. But in this case, the difference between this huma and that huma is the ta. And of course, the ta belongs to the feminine, right? So nasarata. So anytime you hear after the root letter, ta is for two ladies. Ta, two us. So there are two us. Okay. Nasarna, hunna. Nasarna, hunna. You can see hunna, the noon, na. Okay. Nasarta, anta, nasarta, antuma, nasartuma, antum, nasartum, anti, nasarti, antuma, nasartuma, antunna, nasartunna, and then ana, nasartu. This one is very unique for ana. Ana is two. Please don't, some of you who speak the French, ana might be maybe two. Two is not two. Two is in Arabic. Two means I, okay? But in the case that when we are talking about an action, so I will say, I learned, ta'allamtu. I spoke, takallamtu. I said, qultu. I ate, akaltu. I read, qara'tu. I wrote, katabtu. I went, dhahabtu. I saw, ra'aytu. So two is I. And na, so I can either be masculine or feminine. Na is a pronoun which represents nahnu. So na is nahnu, na nahnu, na nahnu, na nahnu. Ana too, okay? I don't know how you will be able to do that, but that is all you need to do. So I will say, I will do this and we will all try to do this. Huwa nasara, huma nasarahum nasaru, hiya nasarat, huma nasarata, hunna nasarna, anta nasarta, antuma nasartuma, antum nasartum, anti nasarti, antuma nasartuma, antunna nasartunna, ana nasartu, nahnu nasarna. Okay, that is Maadhi. Fi'l Maadhi, nasara. I can also use kataba. Huwa kataba, huma kataba, hum katabu, hiya katabat, huma katabata, hunna katabna, anta katabta, antuma katabtuma, antum katabtum, anti katabti, antuma katabtuma, antunna katabtunna, ana katabtu, nahnu katabna. قرأ هو قرأ هما قرأ هم قرأوا هي قرأت هما قرأتا هن قرأنا أنت قرأت أنتما قرأتما أنتم قرأتم أنت قرأت أنتما قرأتما أنتن قرأتن أنا قرأت نحن قرأنا. Okay. Okay, so Shari Alpha says Alpha1, in case of Huma, when the pair is a male or female, do we use masculine of? Yes, of course, depending on the context. Okay. Yes. So Huma, yes, Huma qara'ata is for feminine. Huma qara'a is for male. So that the difference is the ta there. So Huma katabata, both of them wrote, but if it is both of them, Huma kataba, it's the same Huma. I mean, you Alpha, you read, you speak English. Don't you say you for a feminine singular, you for a feminine plural, you for a feminine, all the genders and all the numbers, you use you. But how are you able to differentiate them? By context. Okay? In fact, English is even more pitiful to us. Sorry, Arabic, because it has given us a lot of options. In English, you say you for second person singular masculine, you for second person feminine feminine singular, and you even for second person singular pair, both masculine and feminine. And you for all the plural masculine and feminine, but still we are able to differentiate depending on the context, right? So it's about context there. Okay, I hope that is clear, Alpha. Hope I've answered your question. Okay, so now let's look at some details here. You remember there are every independent pronoun has an attached equivalent, right? Yes. So what we say here is that you have to recall that pronouns attached to fi'ils are in nasb status because they are details. What it means is that, for instance, nasara is huwa, but ni, you remember your ni, right? The ni is an attached pronoun. Ni for ana. Ni and e, you remember the ni, e. Ni is for ana. E is also for mine, something regarding me. But the difference between e and ni is that e is used to attach, it's used to attach to an ism, whilst ni is attached to a fi'l. You can't attach ni to an ism. You can only attach ni to a fi'l, and you attach e to an ism. When you attach e to an ism, it becomes mudhaf ilayhi. If you attach ni to a fi'l, it becomes maf'ul bihi. This is what it says here. So all the ni you see attached to a fi'l, well, of course, that's the only place it can get attached to actually. Ni can only be attached to a fi'l, and when it's attached to a fi'l, it is the detail or the maf'ul bihi. So you say nasara is fi'l maadhi and the dua is huwa, and ni is maf'ul bihi. That's what you say. Finish. Okay. Now note, identify, and this is how you go about translating this. How do you translate any fi'l that is attached to a pronoun, or a pronoun attached to a fi'l? Because the fi'l is written like this, and then the pronoun attached to it. So we say the pronoun, of course, this is an attached pronoun, not independent. The independent equivalent of this is ana. Note that, okay? So nasara, you can't say nasara ana. You say nasara ni, okay? Ni, yache che ni, ko yache bake ni. So those speaking Hausa is easy for you, isn't it? Ni, ya yimi ni. He has done to ni. Finish, right? So ni is for me. Good. These are the steps. First of all, for me to translate this, easy. First of all, identify and ignore the attached pronoun. I know this, the attached pronoun. How do I know? I know the root word is na, sa, ra. Like ka, ta, ba, za, ha, ba, ra, ba, ha, la, fa, wa, ba, a, and so on. Majority of fi'ls in Arabic are 3-letter words, actually. Okay. First, identify the fi'l and identify the pronoun. So when we identify the pronoun, keep it separate and then translate the fi'l alone. This one, nasara. That's what he did. Nasara, which means he helped. He helped. How do I know that there is a he here? Because any fi'l standing alone like this with ta, is huwa. Akala, huwa. Zahaba, huwa. Daraba, huwa. Kharaja, huwa. Lamasa, huwa. Jalasa, huwa. So anything you hear, pa is huwa, okay? Like that. Now, when you translate this as he helped, then you translate the attached pronoun alone, which is me, as I said, okay? Me, okay? Me, not I. Note, not I. I is Anna, but me is ni, okay? Very good. After this step, then you put both the nasara, which is he helped, and then the ni, which is me. So it becomes he helped me. Finish. So that is the way to translate all attached pronoun to a fi'l. Very good. Now let's go to examples here. Look at this. Look at this. Nasara and then ha. Nasara, ha. These are 2 words. Okay. Nasara, ha. These are 2 words. How do you do that? You separate the nasara like this. Nasara. and then you separate the ha. So you translate the nasara and you translate the ha, then you put them together. So nasara and ha, it becomes he helped nasara, ha, her. Okay, so he helped her. Okay, and nasar too. So you can see nasar too, I helped. Who, him. So you see that who is not he, but him. Who is for huwa, yes. But in this case, when attached, it becomes him. Of course, independent pronouns are translated different from the attached pronouns. Okay, so you say huwa, him. Okay, huma, they or them. They, huma. When it is in accusative, we call it accusative dative or dative in grammar, of course. We say that it is them. Not, you don't say they, it's them. Okay, and then they, them. And then she, her. And then they, them also, if it's masculine or feminine. Okay, you, of course. You. And then which one again? Anta, antuma, antum. You is also always you. A lot of use in English, right? And then I, me, and then me, nahnu, we, us. Okay, so that's the translation. I'm sure you all have read it and you have you are now acquainted with that. Okay, so nasaratu is another fi'il with the nasarat is another fi'il with the is for here. Ni, me. So she helped me. And allamna, so allamna, we taught. Kunna, all of you feminine. Allamtuma, allamtuma. So allamtuma, note, is tuma and tuma. So it's tuma, so allama, and then antuma and huma. So both of you taught both of them. This them can either be masculine or feminine. Okay, depending on the context. Allamtumuhunna. Now note, allamtum is actually allamtum antum. And anytime antum is attached to a pronoun, you have to bring this standard wow. It's written, but it is not translated. You have to pronounce it, okay? So you say allamtumuna. It means allamtum nahnu. That's the meaning. Allamtum nahnu. You helped us, but you cannot say nahnu because it's an attached pronoun. So you say allamtum. You can say also allamtum na. Allamtum na. It doesn't sound well with the what they call as-salasa fil lugha al-arabiyya, the flow. So you say allamtumuna. It's easy to say allamtumuna than allamtumna. Okay, so we bring this standard wow for us to be able to pronounce it well. And then qalu, they, you see the hum. So qalu hum, they said it. So who can either be it, she, or she? Yes, of course, it or she. Sorry, not she. it or him. Okay, it or him. Qaluhu, darabuhu, they hit him. Okay, so who can be him or it? As well as her can be her or it. So it can be either who or her. Okay, so these are just processes of detecting a fi'l maadi and the pronoun attached. Now, note very important thing here. The problem or the only issue regarding fi'l maadi is identifying where the last root letter of the fi'l is. So if you know that ra is the last root letter, nasar, allam, in the case of this meme, allam, qalu, qal, from qala. So lam is the last letter. Then you will be able to detect the attached pronouns. Now note, nasar, ha. You might be thinking that the ha is the one who did the action. That's where the confusion comes, because you don't know your fi'l maadi. If you know the fi'l maadi, then you know that the nasara is actually a fi'l and fa'il. So the ha becomes maf'ul bihi. Nasar too is fi'l fa'il. So the ha becomes maf'ul bihi, because if you're not careful, you would think that the who is the doer, and the who cannot be a doer. Anytime you see a fi'l maadi like this, okay? A fi'l maadi like this, nasar tu. Nasar, you see a sukun on it, right? You see a sukun on it, then after that sukun, you will be able to detect that particular file. So in this case, it's ana. Nasar, nasara, and then t is for here. Nasar, allam, na, we. Go. Allam, then tum, antum. This is not tum. This tuma, antuma. So allam, tumu, tum. There is difference between tum and tuma. Tuma with the alif is pair. Tumu is plural, like u, okay? U, anytime you see u is plural, third person, okay? Very good. Now, identify the attached pronoun in the following. Let's do this quick exercise before we go on a break and come back quickly. Okay, let's do a quick exercise for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, right? 11. أكرهتنا. Sorry, let's start from here. اخترتك. جاءتهم فذبحوها. أكرهتنا فجعلناها. قتلتموهم خلقناكم وجدتموهم. قلته آتيتموهن أكبرنه نصركم. These are all fi'ls. Now note, try identifying how to understand, how to know your fi'l, right? And if you remember here in Fi'l Maadhi, let's go back. Okay, here you can see that it is only with the huwa, huma, hum, then here, huma, that are having the ra with either fatha most of the time or dhamma. But the rest, the ra is having sukun. Have you seen? The ra is having sukun. So the last root letter in Fi'l Maadhi most of the time will have sukun. It's all for you to know that the na is for hunna, ta is for anta, tuma is for antuma, tum is for antum, ti is for anti, tuma antuma, tunna for antunna, tu for ana, and na for nahnu. And in the case of these two, the ah at the end will make you know that it is pair. Okay, it is pair for huma. And then the u is special for whom. Okay, the ta is for feminine, and the one with nothing at the end, with only the root letters, is actually for hua. Don't forget some of these markers, they help a lot. Okay, now quickly, ikhtar tuka. Do the i'rab for it quickly. So show me the fi'l, show me the maf'ul, detach them, put them together, and tell me the meaning. This is the assignment for us to do now. So first of all, separate the fi'l from the maf'ul. Or separate the fi'l from the maf'ul. So you will have the fi'l fa'il. Let me do one quickly for us to see. Ikhtartuka. So ikhtar, so you can see that ikhtar, where the sukun is, and the actual root of the fi'l from the word ikhtar or ikhtara, yakhtaru, ikhtar. Okay, ikhtar. Okay, so this is the fi'l. Then tu is the fa'il. So ikhtartu, so ana is the fa'il. Ikhtartu, I. Ikhtar, ka, you. So I ikhtar you. I don't know. I ikhtar you. I chose you. Okay. You see how I detected by I is from the tu, because tu is an attached pronoun for ana. So remember your attached pronouns. Ja'at hum. So ja'at, you remember that is always for the feminines. Start school. So ja'at here. So here. So the dua is here. And always when I ask for a dua, you mention the independent pronoun. Don't mention the attached pronoun. The attached pronoun there represents the independent. Okay? So ja'at here. Hum is the maf'ul. And fadabahu, like whom. So this whom. Okay? Fadabahu ha. So whom zabah ha. So whom is the one who did the zabah against ha. Okay? So ha is the maf'ul, whom is the dua. Then here, akrah. anta. You see, akra is the fail, ta, anta. You remember? I said remove the an and put the ta. Anta. So ta is the fa'il, anta. You have to tell me anta, not ta. Anta is the fa'il, and then na is maf'ul bihi. So fa'ilun, fa'ilun, maf'ul. Al-fa'il akra, and then the fa'il is anta, and then the maf'ul is na. Just tell me fa'il, fa'il, maf'ul. Don't go into any detail, please. The most important thing is that I'm able to identify the fa'il, the fa'il, the maf'ul. And all the fa'ils are inside. Mustatir, okay? Note, all the fa'il in Fi'l Maadhi here are what? Inside. Okay, you can identify them only by those attached, by those markers that we spoke about. Okay, فَجَعَلْنَا, give me the fi'il, fa'il, and maf'ul in فَجَعَلْنَا. فَجَعَلْنَا, quickly. Fi'il, fa'il, maf'ul. Of course, they are all Fi'l Maadhi in this case, right? Fi'il, fa'il, maf'ul. فَجَعَلْنَاهَا. You have 30 seconds to go. Yes, you can write in the text box or the chat box. Okay, so we are having some answers coming for Ja'al. Now note that the fa is not part of the fail. Very important. So Ja'al is the fail. Na is the fa'il, ha is maf'ul. Very good, Nabila. For Ja'alna, Ja'alna is the fail. Where is the fa'il? Okay. Nahnu is the fa'il. When you say for Ja'alna, you are putting the fail fa'il together, right? Okay, Abdullah Ali says Faja'al is the fail. Na, na is M. What is ma? M. And then ha is the done to. So what is the M and the na? Na is the fa'il. Na is supposed to be the fa'il. Ja'ala is the fail. Ja'ala is the fail. The na is the fa'il. And then ha is done to or maf'ul bihi. Okay. Very good. MashaAllah. Asma Nana says fa harf. Okay, fa is harf. I agree with you perfectly. Ja'al is the fa'il, na is the fa'il, and ha is maf'ul. Absolutely correct. Very good. Very good. Good attempt there. Thank you so much. Let's go to the next one. The next one says qataltumuhum. You see, qataltumuhum. I'm sure from now you realize that this is not one word. So you are looking at the fa'il, you are looking at fa'il, you are looking at maf'ul in this word. Okay? So, qataltumuhum. Give me the fi'il, fa'il, maf'ul. Always try and stop at where the fi'il is. As I did this, ikhtar is the fi'il. Ana is the fa'il. Anta is the maf'ul. Finish. Okay? Somebody wants to hijack my class. So. Okay. Qatal. Okay, qatal is the fi'il. Very good. Very good, Abdullahi. Qatal is the fi'il. Qatala, yes, is the fi'il. Yes. Okay, qatal is the fi'il. Where is the fa'il? So you say qatal is the fi'il. So where is the fa'il? Who is the doer? Who did the action? So Asma says qatala is the fa'il. Are you sure? Okay, you have to rewrite that. Of course, I'm still file. Abdullah said cut. Okay, so you are, this is, make sure you give me all the answers in one go, else it will be distorted. It will be distorted and I will not be able to follow. If you make a mistake, copy everything, paste it again, do correction and resend. Okay, very good. So Asma says, Qatal is the fi'l. Yes, yes, correct. Antum, Abbasid, what is antum? You are giving me, you have to give me a correct answer, else the comments keep on coming, okay? Antum fa'il, yes, okay. So antum is fa'il, but where is your fa'il? How is it that Abdul Basi, you have not given me the fa'il, you are getting the fa'il? Okay. So you have to get your fa'il before you get the fa'il. Nabila says, hum is fa'il. Fa'il is hum. Fa'il cannot be hum. Hum is an ism. Sorry. Okay. Okay, let me help out this. Is qatal is the fa'il. Antum is the fa'il and hum is the maf'ul. So qatal, fa'il, tum, antum. And then hum is the maf'ul. Yes, yes, very good. Yes. Yes, very good. MashaAllah. Let's go to the next one. Khalaqnakum. Khalaqnakum. If you are not contributing, if you are not contributing, please keep on writing it on writing it on your paper because it will help you a lot. For those who are trying their hands, kudos. For those who are not, I hope you are doing that in your notes because it's going to help you a lot. This is the Quran. This is the Quran, by the way. Okay. Yes. Okay. So Nabila starts from the right. Sorry. I think then I'm missing you. Sorry, I'm missing you. Yes, Nabila, you said khalaqa is the fa'il, na is fa'il, kum maf'ul. Very good. Very good. For now, say maf'ul. Leave the bihi alone, else you will confuse some of us. Just say maf'ul, okay? Asma say is khalaqa, not halaka. If you say halaka, you are changing the word, okay? Halaka is fa'il, na is fa'il, kum maf'ul bi. Very good. Very good. Very good. Abdul Basit has also come very strongly. Khalaqa fi'il na fa'il kum maf'ul. Alpha says khalaqa is verb. There is no verb, Alpha. Abdul Nafiq says khalaqa fi'il, na is fa'il, kum is maf'ul. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay, let's go to the next one. Wajadtumuhum. Give me the analysis. Wajadtumuhum. Thank you, Asma. Thank you, Rayhan. Where have you been, Rayhan? Wajadtumuhum. Give me the fi'il, fa'il, maf'ul. Give me the fi'il, fa'il, maf'ul in number 8. Wajadtumuhum. You need to know how to do these things, brothers. It will help a lot. It will make us now start seeing in the Arabic, into the Arabic text. Even if we know the translation, yes, it might help, but you are now more conversant with the Arabic language. Okay? Wajad is fi'il, says Asma 2. If you said 2, I will not agree with you, Asma. Abdul Basit Ladam says Wajad fi'il antum. Yes, it's antum. So you have to give me the independent pronoun. That is the pronoun represented there. Yes. So wajad is fi'il, antum is fa'il, and hum is maf'ul. Absolutely correct, Nabila. Good. Let's go to number 9. Qultuhu. Qultuhu. Yes, Alpha. Wajad antum. What is wajad antum? Wajad is antum, hum. Okay. Wajad. Okay. Wajad antum fi'il, fa'il, maf'ul. Okay, I like that style too. It's not bad. That's quite an interesting style there, Alpha. So wajad is the fi'il, antum is the fa'il, and hum is maf'ul. So fi'il, fa'il, maf'ul. Very good. It's a good style. I like that approach. Good. Says kul fi'il, 2 fa'il, hu maf'ul. Note, very good, very good. But don't say 2. Yes, 2 is the file, but I want you to tell me the pronoun itself. The pronoun itself is what? Kulthum, what is the pronoun in tu? Tu is the attached pronoun, but the pronoun itself is what you have to mention. You see, now when I say you should mention the pronoun, there was an error. Nabila is saying anta. Tu is ana. Tu is ana. If you are not, you see, if you don't practice yourself in bringing out the pronoun, it's ana, not inna, ana. Ana, I. Okay, so tu is ana. If you are not conversant with bringing in the pronoun, the independent equivalent of the pronoun, then you will be having this issue, thinking that yes, you know it, but believe me, when you are trying to bring it out, the mistake will come. And that's why we want to practice ourselves, you know, into this. Because for a student, if you are teaching a student, you don't only teach him what it is, you have to teach him to what it is not. So you have to always flip it back to make sure that everything is clear. So yes, very good, Umu, and very good, Nabila. So it's ana, so it's kul, or the kul is the fi'l, and then the ana is the dua, and then huwa, or who is the fa'il. Okay, who is the fa'il? Yes, but I would like you to be mentioning the huwa, the pronouns themselves. They give more meaning. There was a time I mentioned, the other time I remember saying that in the normal way of i'rab, for instance, when we do i'rab and then we say wal wawu fa'il, and then we'll say wal alif fa'il. Yes, alif is harf that doesn't represent anything, but it's actually that alif is actually representing the huma, or representing the both of them. So what we do here is that we don't mention the representative, we mention the represented itself. So that it will be clear. So when I say who, you say huwa. So in this case, I say kul is the fi'il, tu. That's ana is the fa'il, and then huwa is the maf'ul. Who is the maf'ul? Yes, but when I say huwa, it gives more meaning because I know huwa is him. Okay, very good. Now, ataytumuhunna, ataytumuhunna. Quickly. Ataytumuhunna. Ataytumuhunna. Fi'il fa'il maf'ul. Atayt. You see? Yes, very good. So you see ataytu, and then mu, and then hunna. Okay? Ataytu, atay. It's actually, yes, it's atay. You see? It's atay is the fi'il. Tum is tum, that is antum. Fa'il, very good. And then hunna is the maf'ul bihi, very good. So you see, we just need to practice. By practice, you get to know that, okay, so it's not atay tu, that is the fail. It's atay, because it's from ata, yuti, ataytum. Okay, very good. Fail file maf'ul. Let's go to the last but one. Akbarnahu. Akbarnahu. Give me the fi'l file maf'ul here. Akbarnahu. Quickly, akbarnahu. Of course, after knowing Fi'l Maadhi, Fi'l Mudhari, and Amr will run through, inshallah. At least you are able to detect the fi'l. Akbarnahu, quickly. Spending more time here because this is where the actual knowledge is. We get to know it there. Akbarnahu. Okay, so everybody is frozen now. Akbarnahu. So it's akbar. Yes. Is it fi'il or fa'il? You said fa'il? Akbar is the fi'il. Na nahnu. It's not nahnu. You see? Akbarna, hunna akbarna. You see? So that is the reason why I'm saying this practice is very important. You might be thinking that this noon is for nahnu, but it's actually is akbarna, hunna, not akbarna. Na is for nahnu, na is for hunna. Okay? So it's akbarna, hunna. So akbar is the fi'il, hunna is the fa'il, hu is huwa. Yes, yes. Akbarna, hunna, akbar, then hunna, and then huwa. Fi'il fa'il maf'ul. Very good, very good. Okay. The last one is nasarakum. Of course, this one is the easiest. Nasarakum. 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 Nasara and kum. Let me, okay, Nasarakum, quickly do that. And let me share something very important here for us to take note of. Nasarakum. Yes, where are the quick fingers? Nasarakum. Okay. Nasara is Nasara Ana. No, Nasara is Huwa Alpha. You have to quickly refer to, yes, Nasara is the field, but it's Huwa. Yes. Kum is Antum, not Hum. Kum is Antum. You see, it's because you're having problem with your pronouns. Okay? Huwa, hu, he. Huma, huma, hima. So I'm giving you the independence and attached. Huwa, hu, he. Huma, huma, hima. Hum, him. Here, ha. Huma, huma, hima. Hum, him. Anta, ka. Antuma, kuma. Antum, kum. Anti, ki. Antuma, kuma. Antunna, kunna. Ana, e, and then nahnu, na. These are the pronouns. But when they represent in the fi'il, note, when they represent in the fi'il, their sound differ depending on the pronoun itself. So nasara huwa, nasara huma, nasaruhum, nasarat here, nasartuma antuma, the two of them if they are feminine. Nasartun, nasarna hunna, nasarta anta, nasartuma antuma, nasartum antum, nasarti anti, nasartuma antuma, nasartunna antunna, nasartu ana, and nasarna nahnu. So it's not nasarna, but nasarna nahnu. Okay? Yes. Okay, nasara huwa, hum, antum, maf'ul. Okay. Yes, very good. It's not whom, there is kum here. Kum. Kum is for antum, not whom. Okay, Nabila says, Nasara fa'il, fa'il, damir, what is damir mustaqil? I'm not mentioning the Arabic. I want you to mention the fa'il for me. If it is damir mustaqil, what is it? What is that damir? So we mention that damir, we say, and fa'il huwa. Just say huwa. I know it is mustatir, but mention that it is fa'il, it's huwa. Yes. Note. The attached is not the hidden. There's difference between the hidden and the attached. Very important question there. Mustatir is not attached. Muttasil ghair mustatir. So muttasil is the one which is attached. So this is the attached. This one, kum, is attached to what? To the fa'il. You can see the fa'il here. But the fa'il is inside nasara and huwa, and that's huwa. Okay? This one also, akbarna. The fa'il is inside and it is hunna. This noon is just an indicative of hunna. But the fa'il itself is inside. And because it is hunna, and you cannot see the hunna in its totality, right? So the point of it being mustatir is that you cannot see the pronoun itself. You can just see maybe one letter of that or two letters of that. That's why it is mustatir, it is hidden. It's not totally hidden because, as for instance, here, ja'at hum. So ja'at, the dua is inside. This ta is just an indicative. The thing I showed you earlier. Let me quickly go back here and answer that question. Look here. Look here. So here I say the whole of this one, the dua is inside. The whole of the fi'l is here. Nasara is huwa. The huwa is inside. Nasara is huma is inside. Nasaru is hum inside. They are all inside. Nasarat here inside. Nasarata huma inside. So they are all mustatir. But then we are saying that there are some things that you can use as markers to identify the inside pronoun. Okay. In Fi'l Maadhi, all the pronouns here are inside. Okay. The pronouns here are inside. They are not outside. Okay. Very important. But however, how can you get an outside attached pronoun? The attached pronoun is the pronoun that comes, um, the whole attached pronoun as you learned them. Like na is an attached pronoun. Ha is an attached pronoun. Hum is an attached pronoun. Ka is an attached pronoun. Na is the equivalent of nahnu. Ha is the equivalent of what? Here. Hum, same hum. Ka is the equivalent of anta. So you say what kaf here is maf'ul bihi. Okay? Kaf can be, you can say maf'ul and you can say anta is maf'ul bihi. You can say that because ka represents anta, right? But when you are attaching, you can't say anta, so you use ka. So to answer that question from Ummu, it's that all fi'ils have inside doer. But attached pronoun come to become what? Maf'ul. Attached pronouns are not doers. Okay? Very important. Okay, we'll go for a short break and come back and look at Mudhari. Jazakumullah anna kulla khair. Go and take a sip of water. Come and let's share Fi'l Mudhari. Now that we know the Maadhi is going to flow, inshallah. Stay on. Assalamu alaikum.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I hope you are all set and you are back refreshed for us to look at Fi'l Maadhi quickly. Please note, very important. Anytime we talk about Fi'l, then we are talking about the pronouns inside the Fi'l. That's the reason why I said if you have not mastered your huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu, and how they represent in their attached form. That is who, he, huma, who, he. So who, he for the huwa, who, he, huma, hima for the huma, and then whom, him for the whom, and then ha for here, huma for huma, feminine, and then hunna, hinna for hunna, feminine, and then ka for anta, and then kuma for antuma, kum for antum, ki for anti, and then kuma for antuma, and then kunna for antunna, ini for ana, and then na for nahnu. These pronouns will play a lot in fi'l, because no fi'l without a fa'il, and the fa'il is always an inside pronoun. Take this rule. No fi'l without a fa'il, and the fa'il is always inside. Mustatirun. Okay? ليس هناك فعل بدون فاعل ودائما يكون الفاعل مستترا في الفعل. Particularly with fi'l maadhi. Okay? Of course, there will come a time where we say the fa'il is outside, but for now, every fi'l has a fa'il, and the fa'il is mustatir. It's inside. Okay? Now, there's a case where a pronoun will be attached to a fi'l. Now, when a pronoun is attached to a fi'l, it simply means, now note this is very deep. It simply means there is a fa'il inside the fi'l already, and then there is an attached pronoun. So you need to know which fa'il is inside the fi'l, mustatir, and which one is attached, muttasil. And they both do different jobs. One of them, which is inside, does the action, and then the one attached is the one that action fell onto. Okay? And what we say most of the time is that you refer to the one inside with its original independent pronoun. So you say huwa or huma or hum, here or huma or hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. You mention it, that is the doer, that's the doer, and the doer must be independent, isn't it? Right? But the done to, the one that the action fell onto, is always an attached pronoun. It comes in the attached form. It does not come as independent. Okay? Very important. Now, with that, we quickly look at our maf'ul bihi. So let me share my screen quickly. Okay. Now, this is how the maf'ul, sorry, Fi'l Mudhari. Now we are looking at Fi'l Mudhari. What is Mudhari? Mudhari means present. Now, you can see that it's the same table. That's why I'm not going to stay much time here. We are going to go pa, as we say here, right? We are not going to stay much here because you can see the pronouns, huwa, huma, hum, hiya, huma, hunna, anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna, ana, nahnu. That's what I was saying. This goes to our sister who was asking, is an attached different from hidden? Yes. Hidden is inside the fi'l. It's the one that is represented. So the huwa inside here, that's why it's written here. The huwa is inside here. Now, it now depends on you and I. How do we detect? What are the markers I can use to detect the huwa? These are our job to do. That there is a huwa inside. So nasara huwa. Yansuru huwa. Yansurani huma. Yansuruna hum. Tansuru here. Tansurani huma. Yansurna hunna. Anta tansuru. Antuma tansurani. Antum tansuruna. Anti tansurina. Antuma tansurani. Antunna tansurna. Ana ansuru and nahnu nansuru. It's the same pronoun, but in this case, not fi'l maadhi, mudhari. Now, what is the difference between maadhi and mudhari? You can see that, remember, the root word of this particular fi'l is nasara. Nasara. You remember there, nun sadra. But in this case, it's having suru, because there is a ya added here. And then the sukun, dhamma, dhamma. So anytime you see fi'il in this format, fatah, sukun, dhamma, like yaktubu, yazhabu, yadrusu, yam, anything like nan, that, all this with this ya at the beginning, it tells you that it is mudhari. So this is a sign of mudhari. This is a sign of mudhari. This one is a sign of mudhari, present. This is a sign of present, another sign of present, another sign of present, another sign of present, like that. Okay, the whole of the table here has a sign at the beginning that tells you that it is present. Okay, very important. Okay, now the next thing is, okay, this is ya. This is ta, ya, ta. You can see the ta a lot, right? And then a, and then na. Okay, na. So this hamza, nun, ya, and ta, these are the 4 letters that make you identify fi'l mudhari, present. Okay, present. But how do I identify again if it is huwa, huma, hum? Look at the ending. Add to the beginning, the ending, to ya and u. Ya, u, yansuru. Ya and ani. Ani. So this is the sign of huma. So this is huma. Please note, this is not heavy for some of you. Not heavy. It's not about heavy and light. No heavy and light in fi'l. Heavy and light are only in isms. Okay. So huma is ani. Yansurani. Hum. Yansuruna, like hum. Una. So yansuruna. So ya and una represent hum. And ta and u here. Ta and u. You see the ta about here is always represented, isn't it? Another ta. But in this case, mudhari is at the beginning. In fi'l maadhi, it is here with a sukun. But in the mudhari, it's ta at the beginning. Tansuru. And tansurani huma for feminine. You can see that they are almost the same, but this one is having ya for huwa and ta for huma masculine, then ta for huma feminine. So tansurani, so ta and ani, yansurna, ya and na, ya and na. This noon is called noon niswa, is for feminine. Note how it always comes as sukun, then noon fatha. So sukun means any letter that comes here will take the sukun. And that letter will be the last letter of the 3 root letters, right? So nas, na, sa, r, na. Yansurna. So this is ya. This ya is the sign of mudhari. Na is the sign that shows that the dua is hunna. That's how it goes. Okay? Ta and nothing here. So tansuru anta. So this ta is not only a sign for mudhari, it's also a sign for anta. Tansurani, ta and ani, antuma. Tansuruna, ta and una, antum, tum, una. Okay? Anti, tansurina. This is very, very important and very, very unique. Okay? This ina is especially for anti. Tansurina, anti tansurina, anti ta'kulina, anti tazhabina, anti tatakallamina, anti tanamina. All is for anti. And then antuma, second person pair, must feminine. Tansurani, the same ta. Tansurani. You can see that this tansurani. Say, Imam, how can we do this? How can we separate between that? You will come to do that slowly if you keep on, practicing. You come to know that by context, you will be able to know that tansurani here is for huma, feminine. Tansurani for antuma, masculine. And tansurani is for antuma, feminine. And then tansurna, antunna, ta and na. Ta and na. Here is ya and na for hunna, ta and na for antunna. So you can see that they are both for feminine. But the one without the oo, this one is having the oo is for masculine. The one, the oo, masculine. But the one with na, sukun na is feminine. Okay? Then ana ansuru, hamza and nothing. It's just the dhamma at the end. Nansuru, the same thing. Now note what you can easily pick up here is that those ones that do not have anything at the end, like for huwa, here, and anta, and then ana and nahnu, you mark them. You find a way of marking them, and then the rest, the ones with the ani, the ones with the una, the one with the noon, I mean, you just have to find a way of getting them in your mind. However, the very, very important thing for us to realize here is that a lot of the fi'l mudharis are represented by ta, particularly at this level of anta. Anta is ta, 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 anta, antuma, antum, anti, antuma, antunna. You know, where I spoke about the ta, 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 you can see it here from anta tansuru, antuma tansurani, antum tansuruna, anti tansurina, antuma tansurani, antunna tansurna. Okay, so you try going on it. I mean, on and on and on. Put another fi'l there, run on it, and inshallah you'll get to know the difference between them, and it will become easy. But what this particular course is giving you differently is this table of singular, pair, plural, persons, third person, second person, first person, and then masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine. The easiest way to pick up these pronouns and their equivalent fi'ls. So this fi'l mudhari, and this is how you detect them, okay? And this was what I was talking about earlier. A lot of that, you can go and look into it, is inside your handout. And that is that, remember that the present tense will always start with either na or nu, a or u, ta or tu, ya or you. So it is nun, ya, ta. But sometimes they can take fataha, sometimes they can take dhamma, okay? This one depends on the family of the fi'l. Now, this is something called this is part of sarf, okay? It's not part of nahaw. It's part of sarf. And in sarf we have the taf'ilat, where we say the fi'l belongs to a particular family of fi'ls. So it depends on which family the fi'l belongs to. It will start with either na or nu. For instance, any fi'l that is not having any shadda in the middle, like nasara, kataba, jalasa, zahaba, all those ones will start with ya, if you need to start with ya for huwa. But if it is allama, you see, allama is having a double in the middle, like allama, darrasa. Another word is what? Darraba, okay? Fa'ala, okay? All these words that are having 4-letter words, but the middle one is doubled, okay? In this case, you will have to use the u instead of ya, okay? U instead of ya. So you say, kataba yaktubu, darraba yudarribu, like that. And then, so it's ya and you, and then is equal to huwa. So ya and you will give you huwa, and ya and you with ani will be huma. So you can see, yansurani, ya'allimani. So huma for masculine. Ya you plus una is equal to hum. So yansuruna, yu'allimuna. So ya and una, and you and una. Okay? Ya you plus na. You see the na, sukun nun fatha. This one is for hunna. So yansurna, yu'allimna. Ta, tu is equal to here and anta. Now this is where a little bit of confusion is. You have to be very careful here. The fi'ls for anta and here is the same. So tansuru, so anta tansuru, here tansuru. Anta tu'allimu, here tu'allimu. They take the same fi'ls. So it depends on the context. You will be able to know if it is the huwa or here that is being referred to. And then ta'tu and ani. This one is also for antuma and huma. So just like anta and here, the equivalent third person, the equivalent pair, this is for singular. The pair is the same. So here for huma, anta for antuma. So antuma and huma also take the same fi'l. So antuma tansurani and huma tansurani, if it is feminine, okay? And then ta'tu'una, antum tansuruna, antum tu'allimuna. Sorry, antum tansuruna and antum tu'allimuna. Yes. So ta'tu plus una for antum, and ta'tu plus ina. Okay, this one is special for anti. Anti, it looks like plural. Plural may be masculine or so, but this one is specially for anti. So you have ta or tu and plus ina. So anti tansurina, anti taktubina, anti tuallimina, anti tanzurina, and so on. It's fi'l mudhari for second person singular feminine. Again, ta tu plus na. So ta tu plus na. At the top here we have ya you plus na. Okay. The difference between this one, hunna and antunna, is that both of them are having the nun at the end, but this is having the ya at the beginning. This one is having the ta at the beginning. And then the last one is a'u and na. Sorry, a'u for ana. So he said, I will say ansuru and nansuru. Sorry, ansuru. Ansuru and u'allimu, and then nansuru and nu'allimu for nahnu. So nahnu is for with na. Na at the beginning will tell you it is nahnu. For the beginning will tell you it is what? It is ana. So ana nahnu. Ana nahnu. Isn't that very easy? Ana start with hamza. Nahnu start with noon. Finish. This one is very easy to note. Okay. These are just things you need to practice yourself with. These are some of the revisions. So for you to detect fi'l mudhari, you just look at the ya and u for huwa, ya and ani for huma, ya and una for hum, ta and u for here. Okay, ta and ani for huma, and then ya and na. You see, na, sukun na for hunna, ta and u for anta. So anta and anti, as we said, are the same. Ta and ani, antuma, ta and una, antum, ti and una. Sorry, ta and ina is for anti. Ta and ina, tansurina. And then ta and ani for another, antuma for feminine. And then ta and sukun na for antunna, af and u for ana, and then na and u for nahnu. Just have to have a way of getting this mudhari signs and its ending. Now, a very important thing about mudhari is that, note this. You can see that mudhari is in its normalcy, it will be having u like this. Okay, with the ending having ani, una, u, ani, na, and then u, ani, na, una, and then ina, and then ani, na, and then u, right? In all these cases, we say the fi'l mudhari is normal. Okay, we say it is normal fi'l mudhari. But fi'l mudhari can also be can also take fatha here. This fi'l mudhari, it can be, so it can be yansura. Yansura. If it becomes yansura, we say it is light. Or tansura. Or tansura. And then this one, tansuri, the noon will drop. Or ansura. Or nansura. Or yansura, the noon will drop. Tansura, the noon will drop. Tansura, the noon will drop. Tansura, the noon will drop. Tansurna, this one does not, it will be normal. Tansuru, the noon will drop. Yansurna, this one also will not be touched. Yansuru, the noon will drop. In the case of the feminine plural, you can't touch them, okay? They are left as they are. You can't touch the feminine plural, okay? Leave them as they are. That we say the fi'l mudhari is in nasb, is mansub. That means it is light. Here we say it is light. We don't say heavy and light here. Sorry, we don't say heavy and light here. We say normal, light, and lightest. Okay, light, it means it's having fatha or dropping of the noon, and then lightest mean it will be taking sukun and we drop the noon. What is lightest? Lightest means jazm, majzoom. Light means mansub. So when we say fi'l mudhari mansub, it means fi'l mudhari light. Marfu, it is fi'l mudhari normal. And then majzoom, fi'l mudhari lightest. These are the terminologies we use in this particular course. So fi'l mudhari is not like Maadhi. Maadhi is always mabni, but fi'l mabni means it is as it is. Okay, it doesn't change. Okay, so we say daraba is always daraba, fataha, akala, shariba, and so on. That is how it is. It doesn't change whatever happens. But fi'l mudhari, it can be yadrusu and yadrusa. It can be also yadrus. That is sukun. Now, if it is normal without any preceding harf, it will be u. So yansuru, yaktubu, yashrabu, yajlisu, yazhabu, ya'kulu, yaqra'u, yaqulu is like that. But if certain harfs come before the fi'l mudhari, then it will change to a, like lan yansura, for instance. You can't say lan yansuru. You say lan yansura or an ansura. Okay, when it comes like that with an an or lan, then it changes this from dhamma to fatha. If that an or lan come here, this would drop. The noon will drop. So I will say lan yansura, lan yansuru, lan tansura, lan tansura. Lan yansurna. This one, it cannot be touched. Okay. So all the hunna and hinna cases do not change. That's what we say here. So the lesson I just want us to conclude here, because I will share the slides now, is that fi'l mudhari can be normal like this, and fi'l mudhari can take normal, meaning this table. The whole of that is normal. Fi'l mudhari normal. It can be light by either changing this to fatha or dropping the noon where applicable, except in these two cases, unna and antunna. The noon doesn't drop. I hope that is clear. And then it can become lightest or majzoom if it is preceded by certain letters, which I will come to share. And then the fi'l mudhari will take sukoon. So I will say yansur, tansur, and then also the noon will drop where applicable, except in these two cases. Also the noon will not drop. So there are three types of fi'l mudhari. Fi'l mudhari normal, that is fi'l mudhari marfu'. Fi'l mudhari mansub is known as fi'l mudhari light, and fi'l mudhari majzoom is known as fi'l mudhari lightest. All what we have to learn is the letters that can make fi'l mudhari light and the letters that can make fi'l mudhari lightest. And then we are done with fi'l mudhari. Okay. So quickly, that's what we are going to do now. Fi'l mudhari light, mansub. So this is what I have just explained, right? I'm saying that to make the present tense light, the hunna and antunna version do not change. What you do is that if the present tense ends with u, that is the normal, you then change the u to a, finish, it becomes light. If the present tense ends in noon, then you remove the noon, finish. Okay, of course, except these two situations for hunna and antunna, you don't touch them. Fi'l mudhari is very special, isn't it? And then again, these are the examples. So instead of yansuru, it becomes yansura. Instead of yansurani, it becomes yansura. Yansuruna becomes yansuru. Tansuru, it becomes tansura. Tansurani becomes tansura. Yansurna will be as it is because it is hunna. This is the hunna level, right? Don't forget this table though. You realize that here we didn't put the singular pair plural because we know you know the table by now, right? And here too, we didn't put the markers for third person, second person, and first person. And also we didn't put the masculine, feminine, masculine, feminine, masculine, and feminine, because this table needs to be in your mind by now, right? So tansura, tansuru becomes tansura, tansura becomes tansurani becomes tansura, and then yansurna is the same thing. Tansuru becomes tansura, tansurani becomes tansura, tansuruna becomes tansuru, and tansurina becomes tansuri, and then tansurani becomes tansura, and tansurna doesn't change because it is antunna, and then ansuru becomes ansura, nansuru becomes nansura. Okay, so what caused this? What will make a fi'l mudhari have fatha or drop the noon? These are the letters. These are the letters. So these are known as light harfs for the present tense. Al-huruf an-nasiba lil-mudhari. هذه الحروف تنصب الفعل المضارع. So this is what we say. These letters make the fi'l mudhari light. Okay, that is a very good key also, that anytime you see anlan izan kay, they have to precede a fi'l. You know, initially we were talking about batakalawa min fi'an ala hatta ila. They follow ism, right? Now these harfs follow fi'l. So you can't see an and then you see Muhammad, and Muhammad, or lan Yaquba, or lan Ishaq, or likay Muhammad. It doesn't happen. It has to be likay fi'l. And the fi'l here has to be mudhari. Isn't that interesting? Except this word, of course, hatta can be harf of jar. Okay, it can be harf of jar, and in that case, it can happen depending on the context. Okay, very important for us to note. Okay, what is the significance of making a fi'l light? It has a very good, because these letters, these words have meaning. The letters that make them light, they have meaning. And these are the meanings. So because they have meaning, right? Because they have meaning, they make the fi'l light as a result, grammatical reason, of course, but it has language reason also, where you will have to use it. And so the Arabs do not say an, and then they bring the Fi'l Maadhi in front of it. No, it has to be Fi'l Mudhari. And for them to differentiate between the Mudhari that is not preceded by an and the normal Mudhari, Then they said, no, the fi'l mudari that precedes an would have to take fatha, will make it light, okay? Even though the an has its own meaning as a language, in the language, and these are the meaning. An means to, lan means will not, likay means so that, isn't means in the case, in that case, and hatta means until, okay? So they have their literary meaning, and they also have their grammatical impact. So you need to know both, so that the language is not just like that. Anything you bring in must have a grammatical change, so that you will be able to differentiate between a word that is not preceded by an and a word that is preceded by an. And fi'l mudari that is standing alone, and fi'l mudari that is preceded by a certain letter that has a job to do. So these letters have a job to do, and their job is to make the fi'l mudari light. Finish. So you know, Brother Abdullah, these letters go ahead to make easy for you actually detecting your fi'l in a sentence, in an ayah, isn't it? You know, you remember at the beginning we started by saying, how do you detect ism fi'l harf? Then we start thinking. These are some of the markers. So anytime you see an, walan, or kay, or izan, then the word after it is a fi'l. Isn't that interesting? So even though that physically makes you identify the fi'l, grammatically it also affects it in the sense that it will make it nasb, make it in light form. Okay. Now these are the words. An. So what we say is anlan, likay, izan, and hatta. These are the words or the harfs that can cause a fi'l mudari to be light, and these are the meanings. Okay. You have to go and check the meanings and get them right. Okay. These are some of the examples. I wouldn't like to go to these examples. Maybe tomorrow we'll come and look at these examples more. But quickly, let me look at lightest. How can a fi'l mudari become lightest? Lightest means majzoom. Okay. Fi'l mudari can become lightest when it is preceded by certain letters. And I've explained this lightest. Lightest means sukun. Light means fatha. Okay. These are terminologies used here. Okay. And lightest and light in fi'l mudari, signs for the lightest are these: sukun, or dropping of the noon. So dropping of the noon is common between light and lightest, but in the case of where there is no noon, it will make it sukun like this. Okay. So instead of yansuru or yansura, it becomes yansur. Okay. Instead of course, in this case, it's either yansurani or yansura in nasb status and yansura also in jazm status. So it's like almost the same thing with nasb and jar from this side, all except this side, where you will be able to identify that it is having the jazm in it. Okay, good. Now let's look at the harfs that makes a fi'l lightest. These are the harfs that are known as al-huruf al-jazima lil mudari. In, lam, lamma, and li. In, lam, lamma, and li. Now note this li very well. We'll come and discuss about it. It's a little bit tricky. If you're not careful, it will trick you into so many confusions. But for now, in, lam, lamma, and li are the harfs of jazm. They make fi'l mudari lightest, or they put sukun where there is no noon at the end, and they drop the noon if there is noon there, except the unna and antunna forms. Okay, so don't forget that fi'l mudari has certain letters: in, lam, lamma, and li, and then these letters an, lan, izan, kay, likay, and hatta. These letters make fi'l mudari either jazm or okay, the time is almost fast spent. I think we will leave this for today, and tomorrow, inshallah, we'll look at fi'l amr and nahi, because I think we've spent all the time. But alhamdulillah, for fi'l mudari, at least Maadhi and Mudhari for today, we are able to see how different they are, but what is common between them is how perfect we use our pronouns. Okay, so let's quickly look at something here. Okay, fi'l mudhari light. Okay, let's look at this one. You see now, inna Allah la yastahi an yadriba. Inna Allah la yastahi an yadriba. So yadriba is fi'l mudhari. But you can see that it's having fatha. So we say this is fi'l mudari light. Why is it light? Because it's having fatha. What caused this lightness is because of the an. So fi'l mudari, we can say fi'l mudari mansub, and the sign of the nasb here is fatha. Okay. Note, this is not nasb. This is fatha. This is not nasb. This is fatha. But the word is in nasb position. Why? Because it's preceded by an. That's what we say. في هذه الكلمة واقعة في حالة تجعلها منصوبة فهي منصوبة لأنها مسبوقة بأن. You can see an has come before it, right? That makes it nasb. But the sign of that nasb is fatha. Because the sign of the nasb can change here. It's the same fi'l mudari in front of an, but in this case, the noon dropped. Why? Because this one is for antunna, sorry, antum, right? Inna Allah ya'murukum an tazbahu, antum. So ta and u is antum. Lan nushrika, nahnu. So na, nushrika. Okay? So nushrika, nahnu. So lan is harf of light. Nushrika is fi'l mudari light. Okay? Kay is harf of light. Nusabbihaka, fi'l mudari light, and the dua here is nahnu because it's nu, and the ka is maf'ul bihi. Liyakuna, li harf of light. Yakuna fi'l mudari, of course fi'l mudari naqis, this one is called, and then the dua here is huwa, ya, yakuna, huwa. Okay. Hatta yakula, hatta is fi'l harf of light. Yakula is fi'l mudari light. Of course, yakula, this word hatta can be harf of jar. How do you differentiate between the hatta harf of jar and hatta the light harf? Is that anytime you see fi'l al-mudari in front of it, then it is harf nasibat al-mudari. If you see an ism in front of it, then it is harf jar. If it becomes harf jar, it will make the ism majroor. Ism, but it's a fi'l. So this is one of the things that will make, for instance, hatta matla al-fajr. Hatta matla'i. So hatta becomes what? Harf jar. But hatta yakula, hatta is harf nasibat al-mudari. Okay? أين مضارع التي نصبته؟ هذه هي الكلمة. يقول في المضارع is having light because of hatta. And here ولا تنكيه المشركات حتى يؤمننا. You see, يؤمننا, in this case the noon is dropped because it is for hunna. Hunna. The fa'il here is what? Hunna. So the noon is not touched. It's only the hunna and antunna case that the nasb or jazm of fi'l mudari is not is irrelevant, so to speak. Okay, and then let's look at the examples of the lightest. Innaka intazarhum. Innaka intazarhum. So in is harf of lightest. حرف جازمة المضارع. هذه الحرف أو هذا الحرف هذه الحرف تجزم الفعل المضارع، وإذا جزمت الفعل المضارع يكون على الفعل المضارع السكون إذا لم يكن هناك نون في آخره، فنقول انتظر. تزر is the فعل مضارع مجزوم or فعل مضارع lightest, and the dua here is anta, and the hum is مفعول به. Okay, تزرهم. And then yudillu is another فعل which is affected by in. So this word in is not only harf of jazm, it's also known as harf of condition or harf shart. Okay, okay, a sharti, that's why it's called sharti or jazm. Okay, it makes condition. Condition means most of the time when you see this in, it will have two fi'ls. It works on two fi'ls and it makes all the two fi'ls lightest. In this case, these are the two fi'ls, tazar and yudillu. Yudillu is for whom? It has noon, so the noon dropped. Okay, tazar is for anta. Okay, and it doesn't have anything at the end, so it takes sukun. So in tazar hum yudillu. This is fi'l shart and this is the jawab. Okay. Lam tajidu. Lam is harf of jazm. Tajidu is fi'l mudari, and the sign of jazm is dropping of the noon. So tajidu antum. Tajidu antum. Okay. But lamma yadhuqul adhab. Lamma is one of the harfs of jazm. Okay. Okay. Or harf of lightest. Lightest means jazm. Okay. Yazuku fi'l mudari lightest. How do I know it is lightest? Because it's preceded by lamma and the noon has been dropped. فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا. Now note this, that's the lam I told you about. You see how the lam comes? It doesn't come like this, oh, with kisra. It comes with fal or wal most of the time. Wal like this, or fal like this. So it's always preceded by harf atf, either waw or fa. The huruf al-atf are three: waw, fa, and thumma. Okay? Thumma liyaqudu tafasahum waliyufu nudurahum. Okay? So the thumma, so thumma liyaqudu. The lam there is known as harf jazmat al-mudari. So yaqdu is fi'l mudari majzum bihasf al-nun. So the nun has been dropped because it is preceded by harf. That the harf here is lam. Okay, the lam. But most of the time you see it fal, and that's why we even like saying in lam lamma wal falli, in lam lamma wal falli. So these are the hurufs. We say in lam lamma wal falli so that it will be more rhythmic, right? In lam lamma wal falli, in lam lamma wal falli. So the wal falli are one thing. Okay, wal falli are one thing. It can be li standing alone, but very rare in the Quran. Most of the time in the Quran, you will find it wal fal or thummal. Okay, very important. That lam is very important. In fact, that lam, you remember, is also harf jar. Li is harf jar. So if you are not careful, how do I differentiate between harf jar and this one? Harf jar goes into an ism, and this one goes into a fi'l. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so lam is a very key word in grammar, in nahu. It can be harf, it can come before an ism, it can also come before a fi'l. Hatta can come before an ism, it can come before a fi'l. Very important. Okay, some of these things will come and learn them, inshallah, as we go and as we proceed. Inshallah, tomorrow we'll come and look at fi'l amr, and we'll look at the last kind of fi'l. And of course, we'll do a lot of practice. And surely, bit by bit, we would lamma and lam. Did you say lamma? Abdul Basit is saying lamma and lam. Are they the same in meaning? No, they are not. Okay, lam is different from lamma. Okay, lam is it says that something did not happen. Okay, did not happen. But lamma means it has not yet happened. Not yet. This one did not. This one not yet. Okay. And so the meaning, let me share this with you quickly, and then you see the clear meaning here. You remember when it says, let me quickly show you this. Okay, lamma wal falli. Okay, so this is lamma, and if you look at the meaning, it said lamma did not. Sorry, not lamma did not, and lamma not yet. Sorry, lam did not. Okay, so this is the meaning. There are two different things, and this one is only used with present tense. Okay, and pushes the meaning to the past. Okay, and lamma can be used with present tense, and it can be used with past tense. If it's used with the present tense, it means not yet, and if it's used with past tense, it means when. So go and get the meaning and see in the Quran where it is used with Fi'l Maadhi and where it is used with Fi'l Maadhi. But lam can always be used with Fi'l Maadhi. It cannot be used with Fi'l Maadhi. Okay, I hope that is clear for you, my brother Abdul Basit. Jazakumullah anna kull khair. Tomorrow, inshallah, we'll come back and finish our fails with doing by going through Fi'l Amr and Fi'l An-Nahi. But very important thing that we have learned today is that all fails have fa'il in them. The fi'il can be Maadhi and it can be Mudhari. And we said Maadhi is very easy, one type, but Mudhari have three types. Type in the sense that the ending can either have Dhamma, normal, or having the noon at the end in most cases, or it will take fatha if it is light when preceded by certain harfs. And those harfs, we have mentioned them, an, lan, idhan, li, likay, and hatta. Or the fi'l mudhari can become lightest, that is majzoom, if it is preceded by certain letters. We said the letters are in, lam, lamma, wal, fal, and li. Okay. This very important thing about fi'l mudhari, because fi'l mudhari, you realize that it has a lot of markers, right? Beginning and the end. So for you to identify fi'l mudhari, who did what, you look at the beginning and the end. But fi'l maadhi, only look at the end, because the beginning is actually part of the root of the word. But for you to detect who did what in fi'l maadhi, most of the time you look at the end of the word, the letter, end of the fi'l. You know, then you see the ta or tuma or tum, like darabtum, sharibtum, sharibtuma, sharibtunna, and so on. But with fi'l mudhari, you have to look at the anita words or anita letters. When I say anita, I mean hamza, nun, ya, ta, or anaitu. We call it anaitu or anita. Okay, and then you will quickly know with that if the fi'l mudhari, it's who did what in the fi'l, and then with that you will be able to feel true. Jazakumullah anna khair. Abdul Basil said the network kicked on. I don't know whether you answered my yes. So I did. Oh, I did. Oh, Abdul Basil. You can check. Yes, you can. Yes, what I did say. I did say it was that lam is different from lamma. Okay, lam is used with only fi'l mudhari. Lamma is used with fi'l mudhari and fi'l maadhi. Okay. Yes. Yes, and lam means did not. Lamma can either means when or not yet. Okay, so that is the answer to your question, and I hope you have taken note of that. And you can always follow the video on the YouTube channel so that you will get more of what you have missed. Jazakumullah anna khair. We'll meet tomorrow, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ولا عصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين صلاة على النبي الكريم اللهم صل على محمد وسلم السلام عليكم